Move it, will ya? Oh, you're letting him blow right by you. Can you believe this guy? Come on, don't just ninja kick the damn rabbit.
Than the heroes for. In this day and age, who could ask for more?
When it comes to the treacherous conversion from comic book to television to film, and finally to our beloved video game medium, the TMNT franchise has comported itself admirably. Whether it's the classic 80s arcade beat-em-ups, NES classics like Turtles 2 and the Manhattan Project, or even the PS2 era adaptations of the wildly underrated mid-2000s Turtles cartoon, with a few notable exceptions, you can't swing a dead rat without hitting a bitchin' TMNT title. That said, apart from a brief monsoon in the form of 2007's CGI Turtles flick, during the last decade the amphibian foursome have withered during a bit of a drought.
You're in a desert. You look down and you see a tortoise, Leon. It's crawling towards you.
Tortoise? What's that?
Enter TMNT Out of the Shadows. Expectations are inordinately high considering this is a $15 Xbox Live Arcade title we're talking here. While far from perfect and with enough technical issues to be mistaken for the Xbox 360 it's running on, I'm pleased to announce this is the best TMNT game since the 90s and a standout in the otherwise lackluster library of downloadable titles, Blood Dragon motherfucking excluded. Look, a beat-em-up, let alone one featuring anthropomorphic turtles and Lone Ranger mask-wielding feudal ninja weaponry, has no goddamn business being this Nietzsche fucking deep. I mean, the skill trees. Riker's beard the skill trees in an arcade-style hack and slash, no less, folks. Every time the pendulous balls of the industry swing too far afield, there's an inevitable and massive course correction that pulls in the opposite direction, usually in a separate niche of the very same industry. When film noir got too dark and depressing, bring on the musicals. When the mid-70s crime film genre ran out of Guidos to whack, time for the big-budget fantasy films of the 80s. And frankly, without proper RPGs of today continue to inch ever closer to the precipice of set-piece-laden action gamery, I'd be shocked if we didn't encounter even more of this sort of thing from action games in the future. But frankly, there are times when this game was more of an RPG than Mass Effect.
I hate you.
I hate you...
Sir.
The fact is, refreshing as it is a centrifuge of perpetual despair, juxtaposing the counter-heavy exploits of the Arkham Batman series with a deliberately piecemeal, strategy-heavy hack-and-slash game more akin to the Lord of the Rings PS2 and GameCube titles, it wouldn't be unfair to say the combat spins against the way it drives. Given the wealth of offense at your disposal, the temptation to mash buttons in perpetuity can be a difficult siren call to resist. Needless to say, more than a few stray profanities were uttered at a perfectly innocent television screen before I finally sledgehammered into my hapless cranium the fact that you have to take it a bit slower and choose your strikes carefully in TMNT Out of the Shadows. Damn! If you approach Out of the Shadows as the Batman Arkham Asylum Part 2 that the video game press has appraised it as, mashing the attack buttons until they bond with your fingers at the subatomic level and wondering why your counter button doesn't stop enemy strikes even when you've fully committed to a move, frankly, the problem lies with you and not with the game. It's not Arkham Asylum and it's not Sleeping Dogs. It's a slower, more deliberate experience with a punishingly steep learning curve where skill trees and character upgrades genuinely make a substantive difference. Initially, I assumed the skills and upgrades were window dressing. Even football games have experience points, I chortled, waxing my mustache between mouthfuls of fine English snuff. Surely they jest that I should partake in such wool-gathering flim-flammery. 5 merciless dickings later, I applied my ability points and emerged as a much more competent fighter, humbled to admit that this game is every bit as much of an RPG as it is a beat-em-up. Offsetting the Godiva richness of the 5-course combat and skill tree buffet is an emaciated single-player campaign. I've had longer showers, people. Clocking in at a paltry 3 to 4 hours, you almost wondered why they bothered in the first fucking place. The only irredeemable grievance, however, on offer from TMNT Out of the Shadows is that Activision elected to shave a few pesos off the miserly development budget by evidently hiring the cinematographer for Metal Gear Rising on the cheap. And to him I can only say, what? The fuck are you looking at?
What the hell are you staring at?
It's certainly not me, and it's damn sure not the Foot, as they have a nasty habit of barreling into frame from off-screen with an unblockable double dong of doom that I'd need motherfucking tea leaves to have foreseen. Seriously, what is it, Sergei Eisenstein? What is so interesting on the floor? Hell, I don't even need to control you if you just sit at the proper angle. Just hover the fuck above me and occasionally fly past my head. Pretend that you're comedic subtlety, and I'm Angry Joe. It's a merciless annoyance and drops frequent enough golden showers on the proverbial parade that it knocks the game from a fuck yeah to a mere hell yeah on the Rageaholics' non-existent metaphorical rating scale for the furtherance of convoluted analogies. As IGN has rightly pointed out, camera problems kill hack-and-slash games. Unless, of course, you're Metal Gear Rising, in which case, camera issues? What camera issues? Game of the Year all years, Lulzor Noobleat. A plethora of kick-ass alternate game modes, virtually all of which outstrip the main campaign for length, depth, and sheer volume of content, pick up the slack left by the pinch-shitting cameraman, however. Arcade is a blast, survival is as frustratingly addictive as it sounds, and challenge mode is Xerox the fuck over from the Arkham series, except with much greater enemy variety, and a handful of boss fights to offer a much-needed break from the mounting tedium. And they all support synchronized swearing. Co-op. This game needs a patch like Robin Thicke needs to go the fuck away. With that, it would easily elevate to the stratosphere it aspires to, and my recommendation would come completely caveat-free. It's Batman Arkham Asylum, except with turtles, more moves, greater depth, and a wider variety in the fighting styles of enemy and player characters alike. If that sounds awesome to you, and it fucking should, then don't be a bitch. Pick it the fuck up. I'm Razor Fist God. Fucking speed.